The nonchalant man moves through life with an effortless ease that sets him apart. While most men chase validation, bending their behavior to win approval, he remains rooted in his own sense of worth. He doesn't perform, plead, or posture. He simply exists, comfortable in his own skin. This quiet confidence creates a magnetic pull, drawing others toward him without effort. Women, accustomed to men who orbit them in desperate pursuit, find themselves disoriented by his lack of neediness. His detachment isn't indifference. It's a reflection of inner abundance. He doesn't seek external validation because he's already full. That self-sufficiency becomes irresistible. Her mind races with questions. Asterisk, why isn't he trying to impress me? Why doesn't he react like other men? This confusion ignites fascination. Women are instinctively drawn to mystery, to what they can't immediately decipher. And the nonchalant man embodies that enigma. His calm isn't passivity's power. Where others scramble for her attention, he remains unmoved, and that very stillness makes her lean in. She tests him, probing for weakness, but he doesn't flinch. She pulls away, expecting him to chase, but he lets her go. His lack of reaction isn't apathy, it's mastery. He refuses to play the game she's used to, and in doing so, he rewrites the rules. The more she tries to unravel him, the more entangled she becomes. His emotional independence forces her to confront her own patterns, her own need for control. Where other men crumble under her moods, he remains steady, an anchor in the storm. She doesn't just want him, she craves the stability he represents. The nonchalant man doesn't demand her affection. He earns it by being the one man who doesn't seem to need it. And that, more than any grand gesture or desperate plea, is what makes her chase. Most men reveal too much too soon. It's flooding conversations with unnecessary words, oversharing emotions, and seeking constant reassurance. Their insecurity echoes loudly in double texts, rushed replies, and over-explaining each message, screaming fear of losing her interest. The nonchalant man operates differently. He understands the power of silence, the weight of restraint, as words are deliberate, measured, purposeful. He doesn't ramble to fill empty space or spill his soul prematurely. Instead, he lets quiet moments linger, allowing tension to build naturally. This controlled communication isn't manipulation. It's mastery of emotional rhythm. Women instinctively sense when a man is desperate for their approval, and it repels them. But when a man remains composed, unhurried, unbothered by her temporary silence, it ignites intrigue. She wonders why he isn't chasing, why he doesn't seem anxious like the others. His delayed responses aren't games. They're reflections of a life too full to obsess over texts. He prioritizes his mission, his growth, his peace. This makes her prioritize him. She starts analyzing his sparse messages, replaying his few words, attaching meaning to his pauses. The less he gives, the more she fills in the blanks, projecting depth onto his mystery, while other men emotionally vomit their insecurities. Begging for connection, the nonchalant man makes her work for his attention. He doesn't hand over. His inner world is Lee. She must earn access piece by piece. This scarcity creates value. His thoughts become treasures, not trifles. His calm indifference to her fleeting moods demonstrates unshakable self-assurance. Listens, observes, but never begs or breaks. And in that unwavering stability, she finds something rare. A man who doesn't crumble under pressure, but stands firm. That's the magnetism of restraint. Doesn't demand respect, commands it. The nonchalant man doesn't adjust his reality to fit hers. He remains the steady center around which everything else orbits. While most men contort themselves to please women, molding their behavior to seek approval, he stands firm in his own frame. This isn't stubbornness, but sovereignty. He doesn't react to her emotional storms. He observes them with calm detachment, like watching waves crash against unyielding stone. His energy doesn't fluctuate with her moods. He remains grounded, and this consistency becomes his most powerful trait. Women don't realize they're starving for this stability until they encounter it. The way he casually deflects her tests without anger or desperation reveals a man who cannot be manipulated. Only respected. She may try to pull him into drama, to provoke a reaction with silence or sharp words, but he doesn't take the bait. Where other men scramble to apologize or explain themselves, he simply continues being himself. This refusal to engage in emotional tug-of-war shifts the power dynamic entirely. Suddenly, she's the one adjusting not because he demands it, but because his unshakable presence makes her turbulence feel childish in comparison. His frame isn't built to control her, but to remain undisturbed by her. And in that space, she discovers something unexpected: safety, not the suffocating control of a jealous man, but the liberating strength of one who doesn't need to monitor her because he trusts himself. The more she pushes against his composure, the more she secretly admires it. Her provocations are attempts to confirm his strength, and each time he meets them with quiet amusement or graceful indifference, she falls deeper under his spell. He doesn't punish her moods, he outlasts them. And in doing so, he teaches her that real masculinity isn't about dominance, but about being an immovable anchor in life's chaos. She stops trying to break him and starts wanting to join him. The nonchalant man understands a fundamental truth: absence amplifies desire. While other men crowd her space with constant contact, he creates room for longing to grow. His attention isn't given freely, it's rationed, making each interaction feel earned rather than expected. He doesn't ignore her, but he refuses to prioritize her above his own purpose. This subtle imbalance unsettles her in the most intoxicating way. She's accustomed to men rearranging their schedules for her, yet here's someone who casually reschedules because his workout or work deadline comes first. That refusal to chase flips the script entirely. Now she's the one checking her phone, rereading old messages, inventing reasons to reach out. The magic lies in contrast. Where predictable men offer steady, monotonous affection, the nonchalant man keeps her off balance in the most thrilling way. A week of playful teasing culminates in one devastatingly sincere compliment. Days of sparse communication make his sudden deep conversation feel like a gift. This emotional rhythm giving just enough to intrigue, then pulling back triggers her imagination more effectively than any constant stream of attention could. She starts romanticizing his silence, assigning profound meaning to his minimal words. The less he says, the more space she has to dream up who he might be. Most importantly, scarcity isn't an act, it's the natural overflow of a man immersed in his own world. He's not calculating response times. He's genuinely occupied building something greater than any fleeting romance. This authentic focus makes his attention valuable rather than cheap. When he does engage, there's weight behind it. No empty small talk or forced conversations. Every interaction carries substance because she had to wait for it. And in that waiting, in that uncertainty, she discovers something surprising. She enjoys the chase far more than she ever enjoyed being chased. The ultimate paradox of attraction lies in this truth: the less a man needs a woman, the more powerfully she's drawn to him. The nonchalant man embodies this contradiction perfectly. He's fully capable of walking away, and that very possibility makes her cling tighter.
Ow.
While other men telegraph their desperation through needy texts and suffocating attention, he remains emotionally self-sufficient. His life was complete before her and could be complete without her. This isn't indifference, it's the quiet confidence of a man who knows his worth isn't determined by any single relationship. Women can sense this unshakable foundation instinctively. Where other men crumble at the first sign of distance, he remains steady. Where others beg for second chances after arguments, he maintains his boundaries with calm finality. This creates a fascinating dynamic. She's not being love-bombed into submission, but rather invited to rise to his level. The relationship becomes a privilege she earns, not a given she controls. His affection isn't withheld cruelly, but given deliberately, making every moment of connection feel significant rather than obligatory. The most intoxicating part? He doesn't do this consciously. This isn't some manipulative strategy, it's simply who he is. It's a man grounded in purpose, doesn't have to pretend at nonchalance. It flows naturally from his authentic priorities, and that's why she falls hardest in the end. Not because he played games, but because he was the first man who didn't need her to complete him. In a world of men who make women feel like caretakers or conquests, he offers something revolutionary: the freedom to choose him. Not out of obligation or guilt, but genuine desire. That's the irresistible pull of true nonchalance. It's not about pretending not to care, but genuinely having too much self-respect to care too much.